Thank you, Rudy. What a guy. Thank you. What a great job he did as mayor of New York, believe me. We're still thanking him, and he has been such a loyal supporter right from the beginning, so we want to thank Rudy. One of the issues I addressed at length is the issue of government corruption. I put forward a plan to stop it. My opponent has no plan to end government corruption because she is the embodiment of government corruption. The embodiment. I have to, you people in Naples, you have a lot of energy. This is fantastic. And I like those pink signs the best, I hate to tell you. I like them. I'll tell you what, we're doing well in the polls, but you know, I really think those polls are very inaccurate when it comes to women. I think we're doing better with women than with men, frankly. So we're setting records with men, but I want to set records with women, to me. And I hate to tell the men this, but if I could swap, I'd swap you out so fast. You have no idea how fast. Well, I want to thank the men, but I'll tell you, the women, we have tremendous support, and I appreciate it. Is there any place that's more fun to be? And we're going to get a lot done because come November 8th, it's work. But right now, we're having an amazing time talking about our country and what our country's going to be. We're laughed at all over the world. Our military is depleted. We owe $20 trillion. It doubled in less than 8 years under Obama. We are going to make America great again, folks. But is there any place more fun to be? We love it. A Trump rally. And hopefully we're going to be having Trump rallies for 8 years. And after that, let somebody else do it. After that, somebody else is going to be doing it. Even as she was preparing to run for president, WikiLeaks emails show Hillary was trying to get $12 million from the King of Morocco in yet another pay-for-play scheme. My goal is to keep foreign money out of American politics. Hillary Clinton's goal is to put the Oval Office up for sale to whatever country offers the highest price. That's what she does. So I have a message today to the voters of America. It's a message for Republicans and Democrats and independents and everybody. It's a message for those living in rural America, urban America, suburban America, because we are all just one America. We are. And we're going to put, again, we are going to put America first. It's a message for everyone who wants to take back our government from special interests and donors. And I've been on the other side, folks, believe me. I was very, very comfortable there. But I also knew that our country was heading in the wrong direction and bad, bad things were going to happen. And you know, when I talk about inside or outside, I was sort of the ultimate insider. Who was more of an insider? I get along with everybody. They loved me. And then one day, on June 16th of last year, coming down the escalator with Melania, you know what? I became an outsider like they've never seen before in their life. But we're doing the right thing. We had to do it. I love this country. We had to do it. We had to do it. So my message is this. If we win on November 8th, we are going to fix our rigged system. It's a rigged, broken, corrupt system. It's rigged. It's broken. It's corrupt. They want me to take that back. Let me tell you, folks, it's a rigged system. And we are going to drain the swamp of corruption in Washington, D.C. You know, everybody said I won the third debate, and I won the second debate. But the third debate, they didn't like the one answer. Because they said, oh, I talked about this. Millions of people, take a look at the statistics. And so they used that. They said, well, maybe he won. But that one answer, I think the people here, I think you understand that. This is we're in a rigged system. We're in a broken and corrupt system. And Bernie Sanders was in a rigged system, and now he sees, you notice how quiet he's been for the last 3 or 4 days? Because he's been watching and reading WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks is talking about all of the things they said behind his back. They're thinking about, how about where they said she has bad instincts, that Hillary Clinton has bad instincts. This guy Podesta's a nasty guy, man. I wouldn't want people speaking like me, you know, about me behind my back, but he said bad instincts. Bernie Sanders said about Hillary Clinton, bad judgment. So she's got bad instincts. She's got bad judgment. You take a look at all of the harm and all of the things she's done. It's a mess. She gave us ISIS, the vacuum, her and Obama. It started off as nothing. Remember the JV team? He's a real genius. The JV team. Now it's in 32 countries. And then she gets up, I will stop ISIS. She has no chance. They are dreaming that Hillary Clinton becomes president. ISIS, their number one dream, Hillary Clinton, let her become president. She's the one that allowed it to form. She's the one that watched it go. Now they say it's in 32 countries. Worse than ever. The change includes a new foreign policy that puts America first. Hillary Clinton's foreign policy has squandered trillions of American wealth overseas. Yet for all the money spent, all Clinton delivered was death, destruction, and terrorism all over the world. She unleashed ISIS and the turmoil in Iraq and Syria and Libya and, by the way, our country, because she's allowing from Syria 550% more people from Syria, the migration, to come into our country. We don't know who they are, and that's over and above the thousands and thousands of people that Obama's letting pour into our country. We have no idea who they are. But believe me, it's like the story of the Trojan horse. And I don't want people looking back at us in 100 years and 200 years and saying, that's the modern day Trojan horse. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. We're going to shut that door, and we're going to shut it tight. Next, trigger happy. And you know she's trigger happy. She looks weak, and she looks ineffective. And you watch her. And you watch her at the end of the debate where she's like exhausted. She could hardly make it to her car. Oh, let's get out. Let's go. The end of the debate, 2 of them. She was like exhausted. But she's trigger happy. And she wants to start shooting wars in Syria. What the hell are we doing with Syria? So now Russia's on the side of Syria. We created a monster with Iran by giving them $150 billion. How about the $1.7 billion that we gave in cash? It'd fill up this whole stage. How about the $1.7 billion in cash that we thought was $400 million? You remember? How about the 800 people that were getting ready for deportation because they weren't exactly the finest? You know, when this country deports somebody, they've got to be bad. So they have 800 people ready for deportation. This is 2 weeks ago. And guess what happened? They made a mistake. Congratulations. They became citizens of the United States instead of being deported. Except that that was incorrect because it wasn't 800. It was almost 1,800 people. To which I said, okay, you made a mistake. Let's undo it. Undo it and send them out. They said, we can't do that. That would be unconstitutional. How stupid are we? How stupid are our leaders? So she's got bad judgment. She's got bad instinct and just is reckless and far too reckless to be allowed into the Oval Office. I mean, look what she's done. Hillary also started the negotiations that led to the Iran deal and thus ultimately leading to the $1.7 billion. Think of it. We paid $1.7 billion for ransom. You know, you can call it whatever you want, and it was in cash. This man knows. That was in cash. And it wasn't even in green because they wanted denominations and they wanted currency of other countries. That's probably because they figure anybody that makes a deal so stupid, I don't want to bank on that deal anymore. Let me get the currency from another country. Clinton gave Iran everything they wanted and more, including we gave them Iraq. Folks, we're fighting for Mosul. The reason we went in my opinion, was Obama wanted to show what a tough guy he is before the election. But it's not working so good because they dug in. So about 3 months ago, I start reading that we're going to attack Mosul. And the reason we're attacking is, and I've heard this for a long time, the ISIS leaders are supposed to be ensconced in Mosul. I've been hearing that for a long time. Everybody has, right? Okay. So if they're there, and we do know they're smart people, right? If they're there, why are we giving them all of this information? What happened to the element of surprise? Remember the old little saying? The element of surprise. So for 3 months I'm reading, we're going to Mosul, and we're going to get those people out. Well, those people left about 2 seconds after they heard they were going. They're gone. But what isn't gone and who isn't gone are fighters. And they're using human shields, and they've got tunnels, and it's turning out to be a mess. We are so stupid. We have the stupidest leadership, whether it's on trade or military. But think about Mosul. We want to get the leaders. Why don't we go in and knock the hell out of them and don't talk? And let's talk. Let's talk in about 5 days because you'll knock them out fast with the leader. So the leaders now are gone, and they have fighters that are fighting to the death, and it's turning out to be very tough. And they are using human shields. Can you imagine in this day and age? Can you imagine the poor people living there? They're using human shields. Can you imagine the great General George Patton or Douglas MacArthur or any of our great generals? Can you imagine what these people must think, right? Spinning in their grave. The stupidity of what we do. So, the people that we want have long gone. I've been reading about it for how long? 3-4 months that we're going in? Why don't we do it and then have the news conference a week later to announce, guess what? We had it totally successful. We're going to have a very much different country. We're going to have a great country again. We are the laughing stock of the world. We're the laughing stock of the world. Now, Iran is emboldened. They're emboldened. We gave them all that money. We gave them everything they wanted. We have a clear path. They have a clear path to nuclear in 10 years. They'll go faster than that, but they have a clear path. If they decide to adhere by the agreement, which they haven't, they're already testing missiles and everything else, and now they're rich as hell. They were ready to fail. And we gave them all this money. We gave them all this power. And no matter what, Kerry, who took crooked Hillary's place, this guy never walked. The only time he walked was to be in a bicycle race when he fell and broke his leg, right? Then he walks in 3 weeks later on crutches. What a group we have, a group of real losers. That's what we've got. And the only thing Obama does, the only thing he does is campaign. He ought to work on jobs. He ought to work on our military so that instead of being depleted, it'll be the opposite. He ought to help our veterans who are being treated horribly. in the latest insult to America, the government of Iran, did you hear this one? This just happened last night, is demanding, quote, many billions of dollars in new ransom payments for an American businessman and his ailing father. Adding to the insult, Iran has released a video of their captive that includes footage from earlier this year of American soldiers being forced to their knees at gunpoint. So we gave them back $150 billion. And don't forget our sailors, the 10 sailors where they got off course, and instead of saying, hey, folks, come on, get over there, they capture them, they drop them to their knees, they're begging. And the only reason they released them is because the payments started coming in the following day. Stupid they're not. So they released them after making them, humiliating them, and humiliating our country. But now they're asking for many billions of dollars for the gentleman with his father who's very sick. The humiliation for our country never seems to end. It's a humiliation brought on by a Secretary of State who was more interested in getting paid by foreign countries than in representing the country in which she lives. To cover up her crime as Secretary of State, crooked Hillary Clinton bleached and deleted 33,000 emails. She deleted 33,000 emails after getting a subpoena from Congress. She lied to the FBI, and she lied under oath to Congress. She got rid of 13 phones, some of them with a hammer, and you know the story with the hammer. I've never known a person to get rid of with a hammer. How many people here have gotten rid of your iPhones or your phones with a hammer? You hammered them to death. Who? You? What business are you in, sir? Don't say it, I don't want to hear it. It's horrible. 33,000. So she gets a subpoena from Congress. From Congress. If you did that because you're suing you and they get rid of it, you got problems like you never had before. Here's Congress. United States Congress sends a subpoena. She gets the subpoena. She said, oh, this is bad. Get rid of all the evidence. And no problem. Who's representing us? Who the hell is representing us? And then, just so you understand, to make it even worse, 2 days ago, General Cartwright, James Cartwright, a great general, 4-star general, has made a deal. He lied one time to the FBI, and I hear he lied for national security purposes. In other words, he thought he was doing a good thing, not a bad thing. One time. She's lied hundreds of times. Lied one time to the FBI, and you know what? He's got the possibility now of going to jail for up to 5 years and paying a massive fine. And General Petraeus, his life was destroyed for doing a tiny fraction of what Hillary Clinton did. And now she's running for president, and the media is making it possible. The media, without the media, she wouldn't have a chance. Without the media, she doesn't have a chance. Including Campaign Carl. The best evidence that the system is rigged is that Hillary Clinton is even allowed to run for the presidency of the United States in the first place. She shouldn't be allowed to run. The Clintons grew their income by $60 million while Hillary was Secretary of State. Good job. She's always looking for a way to sell government favors and access. The Clintons end up with the money, and America ends up with total humiliation. When I'm president, America will be respected in the world again, and we won't have situations like taking place right now in Iran. That also means standing up against the oppression of the Castro regime in Cuba and standing in solidarity with freedom-loving people in Venezuela. And as you know, Doral, which I own, has a great, great Venezuelan community. Amazing, amazing people. Thank you. And all across Latin America, people are living in oppression. The Obama-Clinton administration has abandoned our friends in Latin America and delivered only poverty and joblessness for Hispanic Americans right here at home. You know what's going on. If you elect me, along with the Republican House and Senate, we will also immediately repeal the Obama-Clinton defense sequester and rebuild our badly depleted military. It's part of my 100-day plan. This will be a national effort that will involve everywhere, from Key West to Tampa, to the Space Coast, to Jacksonville, to the Panhandle. And they love us in the Panhandle. Panhandle, we love you. We might get 100% of the vote in the Panhandle because they know what's happening. My proposal is based on 3 crucial words: peace through strength. And by the way, when I see the press back there, so they stopped letting more people in at 12,000. So they sent them back. So when they say, we have 500 people, it's the most unbelievable thing. They stopped letting them in. So I just want to thank them. I mean, this crowd is incredible. You could be out doing other things. You could be out doing other. This defense buildup will be supported by ships in Mayport and by engineers and advanced manufacturing on the Space Coast. New aircraft will fly from MacDill Air Force Base and Naval Air Station Pensacola. Who's here from those places? New Navy and Coast Guard ships will patrol the Florida coast to prevent drugs and terrorists from entering our shores. With the Republican House and Senate, we will immediately repeal and replace the disaster known as Obamacare. It's a disaster. Even Bill Clinton admitted that Obamacare is the craziest place in the world. He said, it is just absolutely crazy. He said, it's the craziest thing in the world. People wind up with their premiums doubled. This is him. And their coverage cut in half, which is right. The Democratic governor of Minnesota said the Affordable Care Act is no longer affordable. Hillary Clinton wants to double up and triple up. It's going to go through the roof. It's already going up 60, 70, and 80%. Next year is going to be worse. And here's the problem. The deductible is so high, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. You can't even use it. Replacing Obamacare is part of my 100-day contract with the American voter. A Republican House and Senate can swiftly enact the other items in my contract immediately, including massive tax reduction, and she's going to raise your taxes, big league, by the way, big league. Everyone knows it, just read what she has to say. And tax simplification for the middle class. My plan to transform our tax, regulatory, energy, and trade policy is the most pro-growth plan in American history. In American history. We have no choice. It's not like we have a choice. It includes lowering our business tax from 35 to 15%. They're going to have jobs. Our businesses are leaving. Our businesses are leaving because taxes are so high. My reform plan will lift millions out of poverty, raise wages dramatically, and create at least 25 million new jobs in 10 years. And we can enact the whole plan in our first 100 days, and we will. A Trump administration will also work alongside you to restore and protect the beautiful Florida Everglades, which I just flew over. I just flew over, and let me tell you, when you fly over the Everglades and you look at those gators and you look at those water moccasins going, you say, I better have a good helicopter. I told the pilot, you sure we're okay? Those are big. Came in from Palm Beach to here. And I'm saying, let's go get over those, because that's a rough-looking sight down there. You don't want to be down there, right? I've heard for a long time. Go around the Everglades. It'll take you longer, but they're not good. But we're going to protect the Everglades. Our plan will also help you upgrade water and wastewater. And you know you have a huge problem with wastewater. So that the Florida aquifer is pure and safe from pollution. We have to do that. We will also repair the Herbert Hoover Dike in Lake Okeechobee, a lake I'm very familiar with. My contract includes something else at the very center of this campaign, fixing our trade deals and ending the offshoring of American jobs. We've lost enough jobs. Greatest job theft in the history of the world. What they've done to us with our politicians, who are either very stupid or controlled by special interests, or both. We have both. We have had the greatest jobs theft in the history of the world. Our jobs, look at Florida, look, I mean, no matter where you look, Pennsylvania, Ohio, New England, every place, every place. One more way our system is rigged and broken against the American worker is that companies like Carrier simply fire their workers and move their operations to Mexico, build new plants, make their product and sell it back into this country. Guess what? Not going to be so easy to do anymore. Oh, we're going to build a wall. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And Mexico will pay for the wall. When I'm president, if companies want to fire their workers and leave, are you okay? Listen, when I'm president, this is to me like, this is why I started. Are we glad that I started? Are we having... Well, I'll let you know on the evening of November 8th whether I'm glad. If companies want to fire their workers and leave for other countries, then we will charge them a 35% tax when they want to ship their products back into the United States through a very strong border. And you know what? They're never going to leave. They're never going to leave. You say that, all of a sudden their plan doesn't look so good. I mean, you take a look at Ford. Take a look at Carrier. I could name 100 companies. They move to Mexico, fire everybody, make their product, sell it, no tax, no nothing, and we take it. And for years, our politicians have been looking for a solution. Well, this is a solution, but they don't want to talk about it because their donors and special interests don't want that to happen. And they totally control the politician. We have a nearly, thank you, I love you too. Who's that guy that's, wow. It's a tough guy. But I do love him. I love everybody here. I love the country. We have a nearly $800 billion annual trade deficit with the world. Think of it. $800 billion. You say, who's making these deals? We have the greatest business people in the world. We use political hacks to negotiate with China and these other countries that are just ripping us. 1 in 5 American households don't have a single person in that household with a job. Not a single person. Florida has lost 1 in 4 of its manufacturing jobs since NAFTA, a deal signed by Bill Clinton and supported by crooked Hillary. We've lost, listen to this, I still don't believe it. I always think it's a typo. I figure 7,700. We've lost 70,000 factories since China's entry into the World Trade Organization, Another Bill and Hillary-backed disaster. We are living, and I said this, through the single greatest jobs theft. And this is so. No country has ever lost jobs like we've lost over the years to other countries. It's the single greatest jobs theft in the history of the world. A Trump administration will stop the jobs from leaving our country. We will start making things in America again. We will be a rich nation once again. But to be a rich country, we must also be a safe country. Immigration security is national security. We'll build a wall. We'll build a wall. Don't worry. We'll build a wall. We'll build a wall. I have one guy down here, he loves his wall, I'll tell you. Can't be a bad guy. That's because he's a great American. He gets it. Thank you. Do you see all those women for Trump signs, Carl? Do you see that? Look, Carl. Hillary's pledge for open borders includes an open border with the Middle East, meaning generations of radicalism and terrorism spreading and growing within your communities and near your families. A new WikiLeaks email shows John Podesta secretly worried about the fact that Hillary Clinton never procured, and you see this, she never proceeds correctly. I mean, what he's saying about her, he's got to be fired. He's got to be fired. He talks about the San Bernardino problem. We have to keep these people out. And if we don't, we're not going to have a country anymore, or we're going to have a very sick country. We're letting in some of the worst people. We are letting into our country people we don't know who they are. Radical Islamic terrorists right through our front door and stamping their visas approved, approved, approved on the way in. So let me state this very clearly. If I'm elected president, I'm going to keep radical Islamic terrorists the hell out of our country. We will also stop the crisis of illegal immigration. A Trump administration will secure and defend our borders. And yes, we will, for you, build the wall. We have the first ever endorsement from our ICE and Border Patrol officers. 16,500 Border Patrol. In August, first time they've ever done it. In August, police arrested a serial illegal immigrant rapist who had been deported 5 times and who'd been convicted of 3 DUIs. His victims include one 68-year-old woman with a cane who took his offer to drive her home, and then he left her beaten horribly, beaten so badly, on the side of the road. A 64-year-old Air Force veteran, Marilyn Ferris, was raped and beaten to death with a hammer by a repeat offender, criminal illegal immigrant, who should have been deported by the Obama administration many times, but they never got around to do it. Under a Trump administration, this crime wave will come to a very, very crashing end. That includes the proposal in my contract for tough, mandatory minimum prison sentences for illegal immigrants who re-enter the country after a previous deportation. Right now, they're deported, they come back. Over and over again. You look at Kate Steinle. You look at so many hundreds and thousands. You look at what's going on. They're deported, they come back. They're deported, they come back. Well, when they come back that second time, they're going to jail for a long time. When they come back the third time, you know what's going to happen? They're not coming back. With the victory in November, everything will change. In summing up, here are some of the amazing things we are going to do for our country starting in 2017. The biggest tax cut since Ronald Reagan, and in certain ways even bigger. We're going to eliminate every unnecessary job-killing regulation. We are going to defend religious liberty. We'll provide school choice to every disadvantaged child in America. And we are going to end Common Core and bring our education local. We will support the great men and women of law enforcement. We will save the Second Amendment, which is under siege. And you heard that the other night at our third debate, where Hillary Clinton could not say she's going to really save. If you understood what she was saying about Heller, check it out. What she said, our Second Amendment is under siege if she wins. And she's not going to win. I can't believe. Do we want 4 more years of Obama? He's going to go down as our campaign president. Here's a guy, seriously. Why isn't he working? He's always campaigning. His wife is always campaigning. And remember what his wife said. His wife came up with that quote that's all around. They said, oh, you could never. Then I see it was her that said it, right? If you can't run your own house, you can't run the White House. I had no idea it was her. But now I can say it because it was her that said it about Hillary Clinton. So I feel proud to say it. And appoint justices. So we're going to appoint justices to the Supreme Court of the United States who will uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States. You have 16 days to make this happen. But you have to get out and vote. And that includes helping me re-elect Republicans all over the place. I hope they help me too. Be nice if they help us too, right? To enact my first 100 days. I'll tell you what, our America First plan, 100 days. So many great things are going to happen. So many great things. We are going in the wrong direction. Our country is rudderless. We have incompetent leadership. President Obama is incompetent. We are going to go in the right direction. We are going to go in the proper direction. And you're going to be proud of your country again. Our failed establishment will be replaced with a government guided by the principles I outlined in my contract with the American voter. I will be a government, and you will be a government. We're all going to be working. It will be a government of, by, and for the people. For those who feel like they don't have a voice, thank you. I will be your voice, and I am going to fight so hard for you. I'm going to fight for every American in every last part of this nation. We have a president who doesn't fight. He goes out and plays golf all the time. I mean, he plays more golf than some of these great professionals on the PGA Tour. If they could play that much, they'd be even better. He likes golf, I'll tell you. He likes golf. You know, he goes to Hawaii to play golf in a big old 747. And then he comes back and he talks about the carbon footprint. Plays golf. Stays there for a long time. Plays golf in Hawaii. Then he flies back on a big old 7, commonly known as Air Force One. But it's old. It's got those old engines. Lots of things going into the air. So he goes to play golf. Long flight, comes back. Long flight, stays there a long time. And then he has a press conference on the carbon footprint. You know what I say? Give me a break. I'm going to fight for every person in this country who believes government should serve the people, not the donors and not the special interests. I am going to fight to bring us all together as Americans. Imagine what our country could accomplish if we started working together as one people under one God, saluting one American flag. In 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, you're going to look back at this rally for the rest of your life. This is a movement like you have never seen before, but this is a movement like the broken and corrupt media has never seen before. They are corrupt. You're going to look back at this election and say this is by far the most important vote you've ever cast for anyone at any time. You're going to be proud of your country again, and hopefully you're going to be proud of your president. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, and God bless you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Naples. Get out.